Payoff pitch is a screamer back up the middle. Line shot. Eli Johnson dives and makes the grab.
That's a fantastic play in center.
1-0 is pulled to left field. That's tugging near the line. The left fielder in Wirtz is back on it. It one-hops the wall. Here comes Molenbach. Shave is behind him. Wendorf's at second. Everybody's safe. 2 RBI double. Beaver Dam 6-3. Seifert comes home. This one's poked up to the second baseman. Franke on to second for 1. Bryant to first for 2. They're going to a regional final. He comes home. Hard ground ball up the left side. Scooped by Blank. Fired to first. That's how it ends. Fist pump from Coach Wilkie.
And there you go. He's got a little bit wider of a lead there. And he breaks
goes.
off.
Eli belts one to left center field. Back on it is Sawyer. He looks up and it is gone. Backs against the wall, and the Golden Flash comes up with a 2-run bomb and gives the Golden Beavers the lead here in the 7th. Ashton Seifert faces the minimum and hands the baton off to the Golden Beaver Bats, a battering ram of an offense that's averaging 6.8 runs per game. Out in the outfield, left to right, it is Petrowski, Williams, Parman for the Golden Raiders. DePocter's over on the hot corner. Hunt at short. Allen at second. Brandis at first. Pena catching balls and strikes for the starter in Brett Rybarczyk. Jeffrey Freund, Parker Blank, Ashton Seifert, 1 through 3, 4 through 6, Eli Bryant, Jarek Westover, Zach Shave. Bottom third is Carson Franke, Bradley Wendorf, Brandon Morrissey. Here's Jeffrey Freund going up against the lengthy lefty, and the righty takes low and inside for ball 1. Freund as dangerous of a leadoff hitter as you will find. He's hitting .435 this season. He takes a curveball, low and outside. It catches the corner for strike 1. It's 1-1 on Jeff. Had an inside-the-park home run in the regular season finale against Sun Prairie West last week. Rybarczyk's 1-1 is piped foul over the fencing down the right side and near the triple jump area to make the count 1-2 on Freund. It was the first at-bat of that game against Sun Prairie West, and it was an inside-the-park home run for the senior. 1-2, three-quarter arm slot, and it's a ball hit on the ground, hard towards the shortstop. Hunt throws to first. Nice scoop by Brandis to get the speedy Freund by half a step, 1 up, 1 down. And behind one 400 hitter steps another. Parker Blank is hitting .414 and playing the hot corner, the lefty, steps in to face Rybarczyk. A couple of interesting notes on Rybarczyk. We'll get to that after this pitch. The first pitch is grounded up the left side, fielded on one hop by DePocter. He throws 5-3 and 2 quick outs on the Golden Beavers. Rybarczyk has a no-hitter this year. Logged it back on April 16th against Catholic Memorial. It was a 10-run rule victory through 5. He did not allow a single hit. He's got good stuff, throws low to mid-80s. Ashton Seifert, pitcher versus pitcher matchup as the righty steps in and takes ball 1 just low. Seifert a .378 hitter with 10 runs batted in. 2 down here in the bottom of the first. The 1-0 is taken high and inside, a fastball just off the plate again. Scoreless on your Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All scoreboard in a regional semifinal matchup. 2-0 looping curveball finds the middle portion of the strike zone for strike 1. Seifert dominant on the mound, dominant at the plate. Neutral count, 2-1. Fastball taken low and outside, squirts past the outstretched glove of Pena. 3-1 hitters count on Ashton, trying to start a 2-out rally and give himself some run support. Ashton just recorded that 50th strikeout to end the top half of the first. Rybarczyk steps off the mound and resets. Here comes the lefty. 3-1. Curveball taken outer half for strike 2. Payoff pitch on the way. Saw 2 quick swings from Freund and Blank. Seifert taking the patient approach. Here's the 6th pitch of the at-bat. Swung on in a slow grounder up the left side. It dribbles foul before being picked up on a backhand by DePocter. Seifert put on the burners. The third baseman in DePocter let that one dribble foul about 2/3 of the way up the third baseline. Ashton struck out just 5 times over 70-something at-bats. This will be 77 here. 3-2, swung on and missed. Announcer's jinx. There's the 6th one of the season for Ashton. Rare occasion we're scoreless. After one frame to the top of the second, we go here between Beaver Dam and Sheboygan North on 1430 ESPN and Daily Dodge TV. Well, Jeff Freund made that look relatively easy in the first half of the frame. Stop us if you've heard that before. He's up to 93 strikeouts on the season. This is regional finals baseball on Daily Dodge TV and 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam. The West Bend West Spartans not able to figure out Jeff in that first frame. They've still got plenty of time. At Beaver Dam on offense, here is how they line up. You brought him up before. This is not your typical two-way player who just goes out there to take his hacks because he can. Jeff Freund's pretty good at this baseball thing on both sides. He leads off with a .432 batting average, followed up by Parker Blank. Ashton Seifert hits third, 4, 5, and 6. Eli Bryant, Jarek Westover, Zach Shave, Carson Franke, Bradley Wendorf, and the DH in Brandon Morrissey. Committed to the University of Wisconsin-Stevens Point, rounded out for the 18-6 Golden Beavers. And we are set right away. Freund swings on the first pitch and screams it down the left field line. He turns hard around first, hesitates about a third of the way through, now camps at that 45-foot mark, and gets back to first. First pitch swing, there's a playoff single, and I think it's only fitting the single-season hits leader does that.
Yeah, and he's going to get pinch run for right away with, again, one of the more special players on this team, another fast, speedy guy. Again, Hayden Burkon this year, looking at his numbers, he's, tried 14 times to steal second. He has reached 13 of those 14
That's
times.
That's not too bad.
We'll take that.
Parker Blank steps up into the left-handed batter's box. We'll have your defensive alignment for the Spartans after this pitch. Blank shows bunt, takes ball outside. Left to right in the outfield works Mix and Rell. Over on the hot corner is Abresh. Rose is at shortstop, Rank at second, Elke at first. Sellen catching balls and strikes for Maddox Welzine. Want to know the count on Parker Blank. He lays down a bunt. It one hops up to the mound. The only play is at first. Welzine takes it, and job finished for Parker Blank as he advances Hayden Burkon into scoring position with one out.
And what we've seen so much this year is when they do get runners in scoring position, Beaver Dam has been able to capitalize. Postseason baseball, there's obviously field. This is the last time that you are playing this diamond this year at least, and for the seniors, last time ever. You want to see them take that patient approach, see some pitches, feel good up there, swing with some confidence, and get a base hit, and very good chance with Burkon running. It's 1-0.
Here's a guy who's been swinging with a lot of confidence. .364 hitter in Ashton Seifert, coming off a 7-inning shutout with 11 strikeouts and a no-no that went 5 and some change. He takes a bending breaking ball over the plate for strike one. 0-1 with one down, and that runner on second being Burkon here in the bottom of the first. We're scoreless on your Gruber Law Office's one call, that's all scoreboard. Welzine, one eye on second, one eye on home. He comes home. Ashton hits a line drive deep to left field. Just in front of the warning track is Wirtz. He gets under it and reels in a loud out number 2.
He got just under that, too. He hit that well. He saw that pitch, and again, had the left fielder tracking back probably 5-6 feet, a few feet in front of the warning track, just underneath that one.
Strong contact from Ashton, but out number 2, and here comes Eli Bryant, the Division I recruit to Kent State. He's been treated as such. 24 walks entering the postseason. That's a team best. He's also got 100 hits in his career, the only Golden Beaver to do that. Runner on second with 2 outs as Eli steps into the right-handed batter's box and takes ball 1 low and outside. It's 1-0 from Welzine.
Yeah, you don't typically see it, but he is a 200 points higher on base percentage than that average to that point because how much respect opposing pitchers have shown him this year.
1-0 the count. Welzine's got a nasty stat line this year as well. We'll get to that after this pitch. The 1-0. Taken inside off the belt buckle of Eli. Missed him by a couple of inches. Maddox is 4-0. 28 2/3 innings pitched. 0.97 earned run average. 27 strikeouts, 15 walks. Pitcher's duel to be.
Yeah, that'll work.
2-0 on Eli. Here's the pitch. Swung on and fouled off over the screen. It got up and in on Eli's hands.
Hey, we caught one yesterday when we thought we had no chance. I'm on the hot, ready alert right now.
I'm convinced anything's possible after we caught one from that angle yesterday.
We're due.
Well, now we're not.
Well, it's been an inning. We're due.
2-1, the neutral count. Welzine checks back on second. We get a late time call as Eli steps out and is granted. So Beaver Dam 8-0 over Sheboygan North. Did not score until the bottom of the fourth. So we were in a deadlock halfway home in round one. Coach Wilkie said he'd like to see that first run come across a little sooner. Curveball taken high and inside. It's a 3-1 count on the dangerous Bryant. 6.8 runs a game entering the postseason for Beaver Dam. That ticked up a little higher with the 8-run performance yesterday.
Wind ticking up a little higher too, out here pushing the left field now.
Yeah. And the 3-1 taken inside. Eli hops out of the way and takes ball 4 on a 5-pitch walk. It's runners on first and second for Jarek Westover.
The man, the myth, the legend.
He's got a highlight-worthy moment every time he goes out there.
You know, and I think pretty much at this point, anybody that watches and listens regularly knows I love the way this kid plays. He is just such a competitor.
He goes at one speed.
He has one speed, and it's, pretty much 100 all the time.
The lefty steps in and takes fastball just above the zone for a ball. Eli Bryant's over on first. Hayden Burkon, the courtesy runner for Jeff Freund, is in scoring position on second. Want to know the count on Westover, a 246 hitter with 12 runs batted in, hitting in that 5-hole today. 1-0, pipe down the right side and past the outstretched glove of Rank. Hard turnaround third. Burkon gets the green light. Play at the plate. That ball skips by. And coming behind him is Bryant. The throw goes over his head.
Nobody was at home.
Westover's going to third. He obeys the stop sign from Wilkie. And after all of that, oh, he's animated. 2-0 Beaver Dam. Does that count as the one? He always gets one unconventional highlight. That was a single turned into a 3-bagger with 2 ribbies.
Nobody was covering home. They turn around. They try to make a play at the plate on that second runner, and then just nobody was there. Ball trickles over to the first base dugout again. Beaver Dam's dugout. Hangs out there, and you know how Jarek runs. Turns wide at third, thinks about it, and can't make the
almost
last
had the
out at
Little League
home.
home run. Zach Shave steps into the right-handed batter's box and takes fastball low and outside for ball 1. After all of that chaos, it's 2-0 Beaver Dam on your Gruber Law Office's one call, that's all scoreboard. 2 RBI single from Westover as Shave has 21 ribbies entering today and takes ball 2 high and inside. 2-0 with 2 down, a runner on third, that being the speedy Westover. 2-0. Is piped foul down the right side over his own dugout. It rolls all the way near the triple jump area, and it's 2-1 on Zach.
Big 2-out hit, too, because, again, you get to now play with a 2-run lead. Jeffrey Freund on the mound. He's so used to playing with a lead this year. This team, when he's been on the mound, they've been scoring early and helping him out. Makes it so much easier as a starting pitcher.
2-1 from Welzine is spiked just over the plate for a ball. It's 3-1 hitters count here on Shave. You make a great point, right? Early crooked number, ace on the mound. Beaver Dam's got to be feeling good early.
Now you get another base hit, up 3-0. It's a big lead when you got number 20 on the mound.
3-1, red light taken high. Shave takes his base, and that's the second walk of the inning. Second walk in the last 3 at-bats for Beaver Dam. Patience, a good virtue here as of late. And just like that, we get our first McKinstry's Home Furnishings mound visits. We've talked so much about how Beaver Dam's got dominant pitching. You could say the same thing about West Bend West. They used Colin Grass, who you could interpret as their 1, but if your 2 has a sub-1 ERA entering today, you're not in a bad spot. They've got pitching depth. They are used to being in very similar games where the offense puts up 5, 6, 7+ runs, and you look on the other end and there's a bunch of goose eggs.
I'd be interested to see what the philosophy is on the game plan of how long you want him to go today. Because you mentioned, I think it's right around 28 innings this year that he has pitched. So he's not had that same kind of, 50-ish range that you see with Jeffrey. Do you expect him to go 4 or 5, turn it over to the bullpen? You leaning on him to go deep today?
Yeah, you bring up bullpen, right? This is his 12th appearance. I should have mentioned that before. Just his 3rd start. So typically he's been in that mid-reliever role. I'd be curious what that number is at.
I think that just shows how much they looked at this as it's important to keep Beaver Dam close early, knowing that you do have big number 20 FedEx on the mound on the other side.
Yes.
You can't afford to be falling down 3, 4, 5 runs to this Beaver Dam team. That is a huge hill to climb back from.
It's an offense that's been humming this year, too. Carson Franke steps into the right-handed batter's box. We have runners on the corners with 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. That fastball missed just outside. And Coach Roach asked Blue that. Where did that miss? Got the outside signal. Want to know the count? 2-0 on your group of law offices. One call, that's all scoreboard. Courtesy of Mr. Westover. Hit and run scenario as Shave is going. This ball is hit into shallow center field. Camping under it is Mitch, and he makes the catch. Not before a 2 RBI single turned into a 3-backer from the entertaining Jarek Westover. It's 2-0 as we enter the top of the second. Middle third due up for West Bend West when we return on 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam and Daily Dodge TV. The Beaver Dam baseball team has a chance to clinch a Badger Large title, a share of it, and a win against Oregon on Thursday would go a long way. Let's kick off the Nate Wilkie Show by bringing in the man himself, who gave me a hat last week, by the way, in Nate Wilkie. Coach, I appreciate that very much. We've discussed the preseason rankings, the chip on this team's shoulder, and everything else that has transpired so far through 19 games. I want to ask you, what does it mean to you, knowing that your team could get a share of the Badger Large title on Thursday after everything that's gone on so far?
Well, it means a lot. I mean, at the beginning of the year, that's always your goal, to compete for a conference title and, then hopefully advance, into the tournament as far as you can get. So, with this group of kids, I mean, it's been a really fun group to coach, and they've worked really hard. And, even through the ups and downs that we've had and stuff, they've always, kept good attitudes and stuff and stayed together. They don't have any, bickering or anything with each other. Last week was a rough week, but, to know that you're in a spot where we got to do our job, obviously take care of Oregon and get a little bit of help from our from Watertown, and to know that you're playing for a conference title, possibly that's really neat for the kids and neat for our whole program.
So you just mentioned, Coach, the series against Watertown did not go as planned. Close losses by scores of 5-4 at home, 7-5 away. What lessons did your team learn about itself, and how did this group come out on the other side of adversity with a better, more experienced version of themselves?
Well, I mean, it was just a crazy week. I mean, everything we did well. I mean, we were so good defensively for the whole year. And then last week, for whatever reason, it just everything fell apart.
Mm-hmm.
We were making errors. I mean, whether fly balls, ground balls, not being able to make a good throw on a pickle. Just everything that could go wrong went wrong last week. So you kind of start thinking, what is going on, and are we maybe not as good as we thought we were, or whatever. But the kids really, and we were upset, obviously, and then we had the Jefferson loss on Friday where we gave up 5 runs, or gave actually 6 runs in the bottom, or the top of the 7th, rather, and we lost that. So 3 losses last week, and they were all just kind of the same. We just kind of beat ourselves. We gave them big innings, and that's so. We were very upset after Friday, and kind of had the weekend to kind of think about things, and we came back Sunday night for a practice. Knowing that we had a game on Monday, they moved the Oregon game up a day because of the weather. But the kids all kind of were like, hey, we're going to flush this out, and we're going to start over next week and get at it. And so the attitude was there, and we kind of, like we said, we talked about staying together and just kind of fighting through this. And last night we certainly did at Oregon.
Exactly. The 9-0 win against Oregon on Monday kept those conference title hopes alive for you guys. What intel were you able to gather in that one? And how about Ashton Seifert steadying the ship again for a team that was struggling for a couple of games there going into the weekend?
Well, we told the kids, somebody's got to step up and be a leader on this team, and we just got to take care of stuff. And baseball's so contagious. Where you get one error and all of a sudden it trickles into 2 or 3, and that's kind of what happened last week. But we kind of challenged them to somebody's got to step up, and Ashton, he gave us a heck of a performance on the mound, and then we really hit the ball well. I think we had 13 hits yesterday. So again, it was kind of a contagious thing where I think Jeffrey Freund started off the game with a shot out to the outfield, and that just kind of set the whole tone. So really, really proud of how our kids bounced back. And, we know we're a good team. And like we told the kids, we had one bad week, but we've had 7 great weeks where we were ranked 5th in the state, and, we're winning games and stuff. So we want to get back to that version of the Beavers.
Coach, we focus on a lot of different players this year, and I think after 19 games, one of the 2 guys hitting over 400 to this point deserves a word. Parker Blank went 2 for 4, 2 runs scored, and a stolen bag on Monday in that win against Oregon. What role has Parker played in this very successful season so far?
Well, early in the year, we had him kind of towards the bottom of the order, just with all the people we had coming back and stuff, and he did a really good job down there. And then last week when we were struggling, we had a couple guys struggling at the plate and stuff, so we wanted to move Ashton Seifert down a spot to the 3 hole, and then we were kind of thinking, okay, who would be good for the 2nd spot? And usually it's a guy that's got to be able to bunt a little bit and has good wheels and stuff on him, and that's exactly what Parker is. But Parker's a kid where he's a 3-sport athlete, and he's good at all 3 sports, basketball, football, and baseball. And Parker's one where this winter he put a lot of time in where he's the middle of basketball season, but yet he still found the time, to get out to the cage and at least get some swings in. You can really tell, just with, how he's playing this year. I mean, he's hitting .410 right now, and, he's just, great on the bases. And defensively, we were looking for a third baseman. It was kind of between him and Jarek, and Jarek kind of preferred the outfield where Parker's like, I'll play wherever you want me to. So we stuck him at third, and he's made some great plays, and he's just been a great piece to, this team, and a big reason why we're, where we're sitting right now.
Yeah, he's hit a couple of nice snags over there at third that we've been able to feature in the top 3 plays of the week. Coach, what's your message to the guys this week as they try and write another page in Beaver Dam baseball history and possibly, depending on how the chips fall, take home a share of that Badger Large Conference title?
Well, this is kind of like I said, we're sitting right there, and it's in front of us, the big prize, and, we just got to play the way we're capable of playing and take care of our part. And then, like I said, we can't control the Watertown-Milton series. We're hoping, obviously, that, we need Watertown to win one of those games because we're a game behind Milton right now. So, whether it's a tie with Milton or a tie with Watertown, we really don't care. We just, like I said, it'd be a reward for, all the hard work these kids put in, and, not just this year, but all through their high school careers for these seniors. It'd just be kind of a neat honor. Well,
Coach, as always, thank you very much for the time, and best of luck against Oregon.
Sounds good. Thanks.
That was Beaver Dam baseball head coach Nate Wilkie as his squad chases a chance at a Badger Large Conference title. It's the Panthers and the Golden Beavers coming up on Daily Dodge TV and 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam.